Hey, what's up guys? Today's Q&A is about how can I use car audio equipment outside of the car. Alright guys, so like at the beginning of the video, can I use car audio equipment outside the car? Which brings us to this question for Q&A. Can I use car audio equipment as home theater speakers powered by car amplifiers with signal through an AV receiver? Hello from the Caribbean. And so we're going to start with this, and we're going to go through a couple different concepts. For those of you that may already know about this, you probably already know how you can use it in this way. But we're going to answer the question and show you some different concepts that you may already be familiar with, and if not, this might be the first time you've kind of seen this. So anyway, here we have just a little toolbox. One of the guys here actually just slapped this together with some extra leftover equipment, a set of speakers, a single DIN radio, and of course this isn't in the car. You've probably seen other guys doing the whole ice chest boombox thing. This is kind of the toolbox, and obviously, as you can see, this is not plugged into the wall. But let me pop it open so you can kind of take a peek inside. So pretty much inside, you can see there's the radio. Down below here, there's a power converter. And then over to the left, there's obviously a battery. So you obviously don't need to have a battery if your power converter is actually properly sized to power all the electronics. However, if you decide to unplug it from the wall, then everything will not continue to work. Whereas if you actually have a battery, then it will continue to play until, of course, the battery's dead. So pretty much your power converter actually is really essentially your alternator. And then your battery is like your battery that would be in the car. It's really the same exact concept when it comes into any of the displays that you actually might go into any audio shop and see. So obviously this is all your typical equipment that would be installed in your car, from woofers, amplifiers, speakers, navigation, single DIN radios, even an antenna. And I'll give you a sneak peek around the back, and essentially it's really the same exact concept. If you want to take a look around here, pretty much there's all the radios that are wired up. Of course, we have multiple speakers and stuff that we switch between when we're demoing. So there's a massive relay pack there. There's your power converter right there. And of course, a battery. You'll see on the front that this display has plenty of radios being powered by this setup. So we've got our radios in the center. We've got a set of components, 2 sets of coaxials, which of course those speakers are running off our amplifiers. Down below there we have a JL Audio 300/4 and a 600/1, which is running our hybrid audio Imagine 10-inch woofer over there, and our 12-inch woofer over on the other side. So as you can see, there's a lot more equipment running off this one than there was obviously the radio and 2 speakers with no amplifier and the little toolbox. So just want to bring you right over here to kind of show you a couple of the components. Here's our power converter here. This is what you saw basically in both of those. This is what would need to be plugged into the wall outlet, 120 AC. And this guy, depending on the size, will give you up to 13.4 volts of DC output there. So you really need to take a look at what you plan on running and what equipment and how big you plan on going, because think of this as basically your alternator. And of course, there's your battery that you would have in your car. And this battery and this alternator are obviously going to work together. And that's what's going to power all of your 12-volt electronics. So if that's the radio, if that's multiple amplifiers, whatever the case may be, this is kind of some of the things that you're going to need. I mean, of course, here's a small little micro amp that you could use. Maybe this is good for a small little boom box, you know, ice chest, toolbox, whatever. I think there's a lot of different concepts you could really probably be creative and put together and actually make work. Of course, on a small concept like that, you don't need this large of a power converter nor a battery of this size by any means. So it really depends on how big you plan on going. Of course, I'd make sure that your AV receiver also has the necessary RCA outputs for your front left, front right, rear left, rear right, center channel, etc., to be able to be powered by those car audio amplifiers that you plan on possibly using. Is it worth it or not? That's something you've got to really decide. But just a little bit of a concept of what you can do. I mean, right behind me, I've got this wet sounds display that I absolutely love, and I'll tell you what, if you wanted to make something like this, we've played this in here from time to time where we just want to just get down and play some music while we're working, and this thing is insanely loud, and I would love to have that in my backyard when I'm throwing a party. And so you could really get creative with what you want to do. So is it possible? Absolutely. A lot of guys already do this currently now when they have leftover equipment, old stuff maybe they've upgraded and they kind of want to use it. So hopefully this answered some of your questions out there. Like I said, we see this type of question from time to time, so we really just figured we would take a couple minutes, really show you the concept. Like I said in the beginning, some of you guys already may be familiar with this concept, but for those that are out there that are newer to car audio or just super hyped on it, want to use car equipment in the home or for other applications like we shared today, it's completely possible. I'm Alan with Sonic Electronics. Of course, thank you for the questions. Keep them coming. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.